Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been kind of a hot minute since I've posted or uploaded anything, but that's because I was working on something special. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, because I've been talking about it for ages with all of my friends, um, today is the big day. The story that I've been working on is finally being released now. Um, when I was doing the fifth chapter, I was trying really hard to keep it under a certain amount of time, and I just couldn't quite do that. It ended up being, I think, 4 minutes longer than I needed it to be. And that made the entire project 34 minutes long, and that's a problem because YouTube won't let me upload anything larger than 30 minutes. It has to be under 30. And so I went back to see if I could cut anything from earlier chapters, and everything just felt completed. It was how I wanted it to be, and I didn't want to cut anything from the fifth chapter. It was how I wanted it to be. So I made the decision to go ahead and split this into two parts. So there's a part one, and then another video will be part two. In part one, we'll do the first three chapters, and then part two, we'll do chapters 4 and chapters 5. So if you want the full, complete story, make sure to watch both of those videos. I'm going to upload them both today, so they will both be available, but go ahead and watch out for both of those. In any case, I'm really excited about today's story. I've been working on this for quite a while now, and it was a lot of fun, and honestly I really liked the story when all was done. I think I got it the way I wanted it to be. So, and I'm really excited to have you guys watch it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So I'm actually going to include the clip that spawned the impetus for creating the story. In this moment, I was going to be originally just a gameplay like I usually do, and I had this little moment, and so I'm going to include that right before the story starts, but you'll get to see the moment when I was like, oh, you know what I should do? Lyla's origin story. So, but yeah, alright, well, I say let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, we have returned to the Mogwin Palace. Last time I was here, I was a little bit grumpy, so this time we're going to see if I can be a little less grumpy. No! Fucking... I don't even know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I should love this area. This should be like my hometown. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe, maybe Lyla is secretly from this place, but she was the problem child. She rebelled, and she didn't want to. She didn't give in to the culture here, and so they told her that she had to leave.
The fallen leaves tell a story, a war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live.
As a child, Lyla was found abandoned near Mogwin Dynasty, lying upon the blood-soaked grounds by the front entrance. She carried no memory from before. The Mog locals took her in and called her their own. They gave her a nice warm fire pit to sleep in. and gave her food and clothing. And they became her family, the worshippers of blood. And this became her way of life, the only one she knew. Lyla led a happy life growing up. She went to school like the other blood worshipper children, and there studied the art of blood magic. She got good grades and studied hard, and excelled and soon surpassed the other children in skill. At first, Lyla behaved. She attended church, followed the rules, and she helped her foster parents gather food so that they might survive. But she yearned for more than the mundane life of blood assassins, and dreamt of lands beyond. Lyla was an energetic child, always testing her limits, and sometimes that energy bugged her friends and family. She was very mischievous, always pranking the townsfolk, and before long she was constantly finding new ways to cause trouble. She soon earned the ire of the other blood-worshipping people. This led to fights and loneliness. As she got older, she became more rebellious and even started drinking. One day, she skipped school so she could explore the nearby blood lake. Parts of the lake were strictly off limits, but this only drew her interest more. And then she saw it. A golden seed in the distance. Lyla knew the punishment for taking seeds was severe, for they were absolutely forbidden to touch. But her curiosity was too strong. She approached the seed, and no sooner had her feet touched the ground at the foot of the sapling that an intruder in a faceless white mask attacked. Lyla fought back bravely, but she was no match. He was too fast and too strong and too skilled, and he overpowered her easily. Lyla was brought back to the village. The town was furious with her, and the high priest beat her senseless. Her sin could not be forgiven, so she was banished from Mogwin and set off to find a new home. In her exile, Lyla came across a group of soldiers in Limgrave. She snuck into their camp, hoping to find food. Her desperation for supplies forced her deeper into their camp. But she was soon discovered. She was chased off into the nearby forest, where she found more soldiers. It started to rain. Cold, wet, and hungry, she sought refuge in a nearby cave. It wasn't much, but it would have to suffice for now. In tears, Lyla made a small fire and fell asleep while dreaming of home. But soon her hunger brought her back out to scavenge. She stole some meat from a nearby swordsman. But there were too many patrols. It wasn't long before she was again discovered. But luck was on her side. The man that found her was kind. To her relief, he bid she follow him. They gave her food and a tent. They allowed her to stay and became her new family. They trained her in combat and saw her talent with a blade. Unlike before, the men loved her wild spirit and accepted her for who she was, even encouraging her to train. And train she did. Lyla loved it. and the men loved her. And she grew fast and agile and strong. They taught her technique and practiced tirelessly. They taught her to stand in the face of opposition. Keep your blade up and eyes forward. Again, again, again. Harder. Stay focused. Think and feel. Years passed, and Lyla became one of their best fighters. She favored the scimitar as her weapon of choice. In fact, she preferred two of them. And as her skill grew, she thought back to the faceless white mask of her attacker. She would never again be helpless to fight. Mastering the ways of blood and steel, Lyla was one of Godric's most lethal and infamous assassins. As the war against Radahn and his mighty Caelid army intensified, the tree and beast surcoats relied more and more on her skills. As did the Round Table Hold. But the Caelid had not yet witnessed her full fury. And it wouldn't be long before they did. For soon Lyla would take a bitter vow of revenge against Radahn. But first, let's catch up on Lyla's story, starting with her entering the service of Godric. The soldiers of Gatefront followed the order of the tree and beast surcoats, who served Limgrave. Limgrave at this time was ruled by Godric the Golden. Because Lyla was loyal to the men of Gatefront, by extension, she considered Godric her king. In truth, Lyla knew very little about Godric, but she loved Gatefront, so she blindly assumed he was kind and worshipped him in reverence. And so, with great pride, she enlisted as a soldier for the tree and beast. A decision she would come to regret. Her missions were simple at first, generally just retrieving artifacts from Caelid and scouting. But her successes soon were noticed by other interests.
Forgive me. I've been testing you.
Her childhood lessons in blood magic had not been forgotten. Her power was rare and useful.
If you had the mettle to endure this long and arduous path.
Godric and the Round Table Hold were allies against Radahn, a war for control of the shards of the Great Elden Ring. Lyla's blood magic hinted at the location of another shard bearer, the Luminary Mog. This might have been why she was spared, and so many others were not.
Allow me a word of advice. As your senior, you are a mere visitor to the Round Table. Nothing more. A house guest. Yet to earn their keep. Remember your place. Newcomer.
Reluctantly, Lyla shared the location of the Mogwin dynasty.
Oh, so that's where the so-called Lord of Blood was hiding himself, eh? A fitting little squat for that deluded maniac to bleat about the revival of his precious dynasty, while he turns our fellow tarnished into bloody fingers.
Lyla hated betraying her former people, but her loyalty was to the Erd Tree now.
As such, I hope we are compelled to work together.
The politics of this war were not what Lyla cared about, nor did she understand the meaning of the Great Golden Tree or its forbidden seeds. And soon all meaning would be lost anyway, for the Golden Order was not what it seems. Returning home to Gatefront after another successful mission, Lyla was surprised to find no welcoming face to greet her. There were no soldiers, or guards, or bodies. There's some signs of struggle, but where was everybody? What happened here? Who are you? These were new faces. Lyla did not recognize these men, and they didn't know her. They claimed they were new replacements. Replacements? What? But they didn't know anything else. They bid Lyla seek answers elsewhere, perhaps ask up at Stormvale. But it didn't make any sense. She wanted answers. She wanted to know where her family was, what had happened to them. She needed to know. Why would they replace all of Gatefront with only 2 recruits? Lyla had a bad feeling about this. A sinking feeling in her gut. A servant of Godric informed her of the situation. He told her that the Gatefront had been attacked by Radahn's troops. There were no survivors. So Lyla put away the bulky tree and beast armor. And headed to Fort Gale. To unleash her rage. She was a blood assassin, and she would take blood until the pain stopped. Would it stop? How many lives does grief require? If Godric wants artifacts, so be it. As long as Lyla has her blood, what does she care? She would avenge Gatefront and bring the war right to Radahn's doorstep. Radahn would pay. Hey guys, if you want to continue the story, make sure you check out part 2. Alright, see you there.